was asked a question today, it was a couple days ago, about if I had any situations that required either the police involvement or going to the hospital. One time. And I've told this story hundreds of times, and for anybody who knows me, who's heard me tell the story, just bear with me. And the reason I tell this story, I tell it to pretty much everybody, is because I want to explain my mentality when it comes to play and why I won't go to certain limits. I do everything on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 being very light, almost nothing, 10 being extremely dangerous and extremely hard. I used to play with this one girl at 10. This was about 8 years ago. Very heavy masochist. Love the hell out of her. And, it was an on and off again, play situation. She wasn't a slave to me. She was just a play partner that I would have occasionally. One night we were at a club and playing, and she wanted to go see where her limit was and just push it extremely heavily. I mean, all the standards were in place, the safe words, blah blah blah. But the thing is that I make, and this is why I'm so adamant about safe words and about reading your partner and so on. This is the story that has led me to these feelings. So I was playing with this girl, and she was up on the cross, and I was flogging her, I was paddling her, I was caning her, I was doing everything I could imagine, and I was really laying it in. I mean, super heavy strokes, and this girl was just taking it, and just the feelings were just coming off her, the power that was flowing from her body. Everybody in the room felt it, and she was just thrashing around on this cross, just literally. I mean, just moving around, and of course she had her arms up. They weren't tied together like this. They were actually on a St. Andrew's cross apart. Somehow in the middle of her thrashing, she twisted her arm in a way, and something happened where maybe she hit the X-frame and actually broke one of the bones in her arm. I don't remember if it was the inside, which one it was, but she actually broke one of the bones in her arm, or fractured it, more likely. I think it was. But she broke it. The thing was is that at the time I didn't notice it. I didn't notice it because I was so heavy into the play. I was so focused on it, so zoned into what I was doing. I didn't notice it. So, needless to say, play's over. She's flying. She's heavy into subspace. The endorphins are kicking in. Nothing's phasing her. As time goes by, and this is about an hour, 45 minutes, an hour, she's starting to come down. All the other pains are kind of settling in, except for the one in her arm. Now, I know I hadn't hit her arm, but there was a pain in her arm. Well, we wound up looking at her arm and realized that it got busted. Well, we had to take her to the ER. Of course, you walk into the ER, I'm walking in with this girl who's smaller than me. And fortunately, I was able to bring some friends, some people who had actually been there during the scene and watched it. And we walked in. She went in and went for her arm. Of course, when the doctors went to examine her, they also started seeing the way she was moving and sitting where she wasn't, very comfortable. So they said, they wanted to look at her back. And they started seeing all the black and blue marks, all up and down. Of course, she was wearing a skirt, so her legs were black and blue. Parts of her legs were black and blue. And just, of course, happened to be some cops there. And of course, one cop took me off this way, another cop took my friends that way, and we told them the story. And I guess the cops there just realized after talking to her and talking to my friends and talking to me, we all the same story, and there was really nothing they could do. So they just kind of let it drop. But if there hadn't have been several people there and she wasn't completely in agreement with the story of what happened, I probably would have gone to jail that night. Fast forward a couple years. So I've seen her occasionally, not played with her, because I got freaked out after that occasion that I'm not playing with her anymore. And she keeps telling me, it's not your fault, it's not your fault. You know, I was the one thrashing around. I was the one to go to that level. But I still feel it's my fault. I, I, I wasn't paying enough attention. And I hurt her. So, this is kind of why the two and a half safety videos that I've done so far, and the third safety video is going to be so important, is because I'm coming from this stuff from experience. I'm not reading this shit off of the web and just saying, oh, by the way, guess what? This is what, here's some information. No, I've lived this shit. So, you know what? Take this for what it is. Be well and safe.